starting off strong.
You alright?
Yeah, sorry. I was just thinking about that dream I had last night about Emma Watson, and I was like, man, girls were fucking at Hogwarts, bro. Like, they had to be. Like, they were at boarding school. It's the world of magic. What a wasted opportunity if they weren't, right?
In canon, the girls can go up into the boys' dorm, but the boys can't go up into the girls' dorm.
Well, that means the girls are throwing fucking parties in there, bro.
Exactly.
I would have slapped at Hogwarts.
That doesn't stop anything.
No.
I don't have to fucking her place.
All they were really doing is making lesbians the more efficient breed, because it's like we don't even have to fucking leave our
Listen,
brains.
they
Like,
study.
we're already
Okay,
here.
this is going to be the Hogwarts episode. I haven't started my timer yet, but like in like old school like witch lore,
Sure.
like being a lesbian makes you a more powerful witch, right?
You know, I don't know much about witch lore, but you know, I'm gonna say yeah, I feel pretty powerful.
Exactly.
I mean, it really depends. Like, there are covens that are just like, yeah, we all gay, we all strong, we all happy.
Why use many word when few word do?
All right, we good?
Yeah, bro, we've been recording for 2 minutes.
Cool. We just got a cool little buffer in there.
Since you're a Hogwarts sex dream.
Whoops. Sorry, Emma Watson. It's a good dream.
All right. Welcome to Dirty Talk. It is a quiet Sunday afternoon or morning, whichever. I don't care.
It's fucking
what is
morning.
time? It's almost afternoon. This is our second recording. We have yet to start our stream, so we're not really going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about whatever crazy stuff comes to our mind. We got Bouchard, Fulton, Cooper, and Wise here. Nagy is currently indisposed.
He's on business.
I mean, he said last session that he was gonna be gone for 2 weeks, so we have entered entered those 2 weeks.
Yeah,
where he
those
will
2
not
weeks
be
are
here.
now.
When he returneth, we will start a hitherto unnamed stream.
It's just the name of it now.
Yeah.
Yep. So we'll be talking about general D&D stuff. Just kind of having a good time talking with y'all.
Some nerds want to talk about Tasha's, I guess.
I am some nerds. I definitely want to talk about Tasha's. They did so much.
Yep.
A lot of cool subclasses. Y'all can't see it right now, but Wise is nursing a cup of tea. She's had a rough morning.
I worked the overnight shift at not Amazon, and now I want to die.
They brought back the what was it, the peace cleric and whatnot.
That shouldn't even be a thing.
Why?
Sounds redundant.
Yeah, like
Clerics woke up and chose violence. They don't
think
get peace.
There's no gods in D&D that are like all about peace.
I
Have you
haven't
played
met
D&D? Have you played your own campaign,
Yeah.
Cooper?
There is a peace god. Y'all just
Really?
haven't talked to them yet.
Yeah, no shit. I'm pretty sure they're dead.
They asleep on the fucking job.
The old gods are fucking dead, and it's just talking about that one.
So they added Order Domain, Peace Domain, and Twilight Domain.
Yeah, Twilight is what I'm playing in Morally Grey campaign, and it's super cool. Just being like basically like that old school like read the stars oracle.
Wait, what was the first one? Peace, Twilight, and what?
Oh god, where did it go? Order, Peace, and Twilight.
Order.
Brought Order back. Order is an old one too, isn't it?
Bitch, just play a paladin. The fuck? I'm gonna play an
Wasn't Levi
order
in Order?
cleric. Huh?
wasn't Levi an order cleric, or is she like?
No, she was a fucking trickery domain.
She was a trickster
Oh.
domain. And then she got
She's
traumatized.
essentially
The
an Order
opposite.
cleric now.
What was? Oh, Elwie was the.
She's a life cleric.
Ellie was
cleric.
life
Oh
domain,
wow.
Which is also a redundant class for a cleric. Hello, I'm the healer cleric. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's got useful benefits. You
I
like
mean, you
max
can-
out your healing all
That's
the time.
fair. I mean, you can play a cleric that doesn't heal. Look at Tenenbaum.
Yeah.
That bitch don't heal for nothing. I
She's
think
a rogue.
I'm a healer, but cocked shotgun.
I think I've literally cast in the entire like span of a 2-year campaign. I think I've cast Cure Wounds less than 10 times.
And most of it has been on yourself, I'm guessing.
No, I mean I don't honestly like I very rarely get hit to the point where I really need to use it on myself, but realistically what it is like someone will go down, like Fulton's character usually was Fulton's
go down a
character
lot.
go down And I'll be like, yeah, I'll walk up to Thok and I just fucking kick him in the head and cast Cure Wounds. All right, well, you do 1 point of damage, but you can go ahead and roll your health.
You'll deal his 2 death saves for him.
And then you will heal
And then
him.
you'll heal him, just to add insult to injury.
Yeah, no, it's so excessive with your war cleric to the point where my character is newer in that campaign and genuinely thinks she's a rogue. She got a bow, she's a little edgy, she's kind of dark. She's kicking dead bodies when I meet her, like she's a rogue.
I love her. She's a mess.
Knowing her and knowing that she goes on like crusades to destroy holy symbols of like.
Okay, that makes me sound a little. Okay, can we give a little background to TV before we start making her sound like part of the fucking Crusades? Well,
She is indeed evil.
Well, she's not evil. It's the armor.
she has cursed armor on that moved her alignment from true neutral to neutral evil.
Yeah.
She is a war domain cleric. She is the patron of or her patron is not patron. What is it? Deity.
Yeah.
Is a like unbridled chaos war god. Like.
He is essentially the god of throwing sand in your opponent's eyes during a fight.
He's the pocket sand god. He's like, I don't give a fuck what happens, just win. Fuck you.
Which is interesting to see the comparison between TB, who was like, hell yeah, I'm into it, as opposed to Rin, who ran into the same character and was like, ugh.
Yankers.
Rin's done a lot of growing, and Tenenbaum is currently wearing armor that disallows her to do a lot of growing.
She just wants to go to the brothel. You know, she's so easy to play because unlike Rin, where she has all these like big world like character issues and she's got to develop and she's really grappling with like how to become this person she wants to be. Tenenbaum's like, I want to go to the brothel.
I just want to not.
I would like to know. Thank you, no, is her answer to every question.
Roll to know.
So what would Tenenbaum do if there like wasn't brothels?
Go to bars, pick up chicks, I guess.
Oh.
Do it the old-fashioned way.
She's very similar, at least in my opinion, because I, as her player, obviously see her through a different light. I see her as like very charismatic without a charisma skill, very similar to Seven, right? Like Seven has shit charisma for stats, but you are just a charismatic motherfucker. You
It's
just
the
pull it off.
accent. Like,
Oh, you're right.
that
It's
does
But
the accent.
I'll be like playing, he'll be in a situation and I'm role playing with Fulton as Seven. And I'm like, oh no, it's over.
I noticed that yesterday.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, it's over. And then that wily motherfucker will just say some smooth as ice shit. But Fulton's so good, it's not like he's like, all right, fuck my charisma modifier, I'm gonna be smooth. He says it
In character
as someone with like a bad charisma stat. But the things that he's saying and the ambiance of his character is just like, I want to just slap him down for it, but I can't. I can't.
I want to punish you, but I just can't do it.
I imagine him being from a different time. His charisma wouldn't carry over. Like there'd be some sort of disconnect with like people now.
Cultural differences, as
Yeah,
Seven
exactly.
says all the time.
When you first asked me that you wanted to play a Prothean, I got super nervous because I was like, how is that like gonna work, and like the implications in the world, and like because I asked you, do you want to be like a liberated collector, and you were like,
Oh,
no.
God.
I was like, I want to be a Prothean, and I was like, all right, we'll see what Fulton can do, and he does it real well.
Hey, I know I'm on a ship with 250 people that I could at any moment go and talk to and ask them questions about current events. Also, the extranet exists. However, I'm going to text this random Turian across the galaxy and say, yo, what's up with the genophage?
I can't ask Vulcan about
And
it.
she's going to say, lose my fucking number, please.
I forget what comedian it was, but I was watching, I think it was George Lopez. And he was like, yeah, you don't learn things the same way you used to. He's like, I had to learn the hard way that you just don't talk to people in elevators. And he just sat there and he was like, yeah, I was in this elevator and this dude was with me. I looked over and I was like, I'm in town for another day. And the guy just goes, cool, great. Because that's exactly enough time to go fuck yourself. And he was just like, okay, don't talk to people in elevators.
Speaking of elevators. Whoa, I don't know what that was.
Sorry, it just, It sounded like George Lopez was hitting on that dude. And
Yeah.
then Fulton says, speaking of elevators.
No, I didn't have any love in an elevator or anything like that.
Okay.
But
The mere fact that you're bringing it up makes me think that you did, Fulton.
I wish.
Did you have a tryst in an elevator?
No. I'm always alone in an elevator or with the other people I work with and not Amazon.
How often I was like, how often are you in an elevator at work? And then I was like, oh, wait. You idiot.
How the fuck is he supposed to get to the warehouse, Wise?
Sure, yeah, that.
But there was this movie called Devil or whatever. And
Oh,
I remember that
it's
movie.
it's actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah,
Strangers
I don't
in
watch
an
horror
elevator.
movies.
Wasn't that, what's his name? The director everyone jokes on for like plot twist.
No, it wasn't a
M.
Shyamalan
Night
movie.
Shyamalan.
It was too good. It was too good to be an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
I want to Google it real quick. Oh, John Eric Dodell or Dowdle.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
I don't either, but I do know he made some pretty good movies. Yeah, he made like Elevator, Insidious, The Happening, Ouija, Signs.
See, I don't watch horror movies, so that makes sense that I have no fucking clue who that dude is.
So, I know Wise, you probably haven't seen this because it is rather like big in horror. Has anybody ever seen As Above, So Below?
Yeah,
You seen that movie?
I've seen it.
Where
It's
like
been a while.
some like fucking plucky teenagers like go and try and explore the French catacombs.
Oh, yeah.
And then they like slowly like they discover a new part of it, and then they just slowly end up in actual hell.
That movie is, I don't know. I didn't think it was a good movie. I thought it was pretty dumb. I was like, why in the first 5 minutes would you come across multiple people telling you, don't do this? And then you do it, shit goes wrong, and you don't immediately turn around.
It's human nature. It's what we do.
I don't know, man.
Well,
If you were in the
also-
French catacombs and like 90 people were like, hey, don't go here, and then you went there and somebody immediately died, would you and the rest of your friends be like, all right, let's keep going?
Well, that's the thing. Nobody immediately died. Like the only person who immediately died like was after the cave-in, and then they couldn't go anywhere. Whereas like some creepy shit had been happening, but like that's kind of like what you get when you go into the fucking to explore the French catacombs. Like, have you ever seen the video that they found? They found a camcorder down there. Like they were like actual like city officials, and they like went in to like check it because people get lost down there all the time. And they just found a camcorder, and they took it up, and they found footage of this dude like wandering in the catacombs, and he got lost. And then like he stops and he turns, and like he's looking at something, and like he walks a little bit, and then he turns again, and then he just takes off running, and then just drops the camera, and then you see him like his feet like disappear off into the darkness, and never found his body. They just found the camcorder.
Yeah, probably because it was a plant. He probably put it there to be like, oh, someone's gonna find this and it's gonna freak them the fuck out, and then I'm gonna leave.
He's also missing.
Okay, well, I don't have an excuse for that.
Yeah, that changes things. That's a hell of a prank, is to fake your own death in the French catacombs to scare somebody and then actually go missing.
Some people be scamming the government. I would fucking do it. The fuck? I would do it all the time. If I could have reasonable assurance that I could fake my fucking death and just go live in the mountains in Alaska, I would just do it.
It's a good gig right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm fucking saying. Unfortunately, I can't.
So has anyone seen Shameless? I know Cooper doesn't like it.
I can't stand
Shameless. Growing up in an inner city, there is shit that hits a little close to home. I'm like, I hate this. Like, I don't want to live through this again.
It's the same reason I like could not get into Game of Thrones.
You also lived through the medieval times?
Yes, exactly. You don't know this about me?
Oh, yeah.
The constant battle for power in medieval not Europe. Like, come on.
Not Europe.
But it's the like you're watching like all these characters, and like you like the characters. You're like, I understand your guys' situation is shitty, but you know, if you really work hard and do what you need to do, you can get out of there, and maybe there might be some conflict resolution. No. In Shameless and Game of Thrones, even at the end, I had the end spoiled for me in Game of Thrones. I was like, there is no conflict resolution. It's just shit the whole way through. And I was like, why am I going to watch that?
Also, how fucked up is it that Bran becomes, spoilers, Bran becomes king, But, like, they're just like, yeah, we'll call you Brand the Broken. And he's just, like, in a wheelchair, like, hey, guys. A little fucked up.
Why would he fucking care? He, like, has foresight or whatever the fuck creepy ass shit happened to him where they deleted his personality and uploaded Oracle.
He can see the future and the past.
He already knew they were calling him Brand the Broken. That's why his feelings weren't hurt. He saw it like three seasons ago.
He's had like
he was
8
like,
years to cope, yeah.
Like, whatever.
He was probably heard about it at first, and then, like, you know, Hodor died, and he was like, all right, I got bigger shit to deal with than getting called Brand the Broken.
I'm gonna be fucking king of Westeros. There's a lot more, like, important shit that I should be worried about.
I love that at the end, Sam, one of the characters, is just like, what if we all, as, like, nobles, got together and, like, voted on a king? And everyone was like, that's fucking stupid. And I'm just sitting there like, whoa, y'all hate democracy now? Like, we just shitting on that?
It's pseudo medieval times. Of course they fucking hate democracy.
To reel it in back to good old Tasha's, they have added actually like a crazy cool amount of subclasses. All of the cleric ones are pretty cool. I kind of really like the monk ones they added. I'm gonna dig through the book real quick and grab those.
The Astral Self, Way of Astral Self is pretty fucking cool.
Way of Astral Self, Way of Mercy.
Mercy's kind of like fucking Mother Teresa healing monk.
Yeah, you're
except
like...
without the atrocities. And the Way of Astral Self is. Do you ever play Borderlands 3?
Yeah. Yeah, the chick with the like multiple like
yeah, it's very similar to that.
You get to Doctor Strange your arms, but they all can punch instead of throw up gang signs. Oh yeah, Ranger Swarmkeeper is really cool too. You're what's his name from Naruto? It's Control Bugs.
Shino. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just Shino. Just run around with a bow, throwing beetles at people. And then they got like. Beast Companion one. They updated your Beastmaster companions and whatnot. So from what I'm seeing, they added a Beast of the Sky, a Beast of the Land, and a Beast of the Sea. And yeah, okay, maybe Tasha's was a bad topic.
I mean,
Nobody else read it, so it's like
I haven't had time, dog.
It's good, it's okay.
I've just been enjoying the character creation. Not like it's a whole big thing, but that's like my favorite part about it, because you get to make a character that's specifically what you want it to be.
Yeah, the fact that you can like switch which stats get buffs.
Right.
I also really like the kind of builds you can get from what they've added as features. Basically adding the ability to take like warlock stuff or sorcerer stuff,
yeah.
like kind of at will.
Yeah, that's why like Nagy's confused when I cast Eldritch Blast. Cause like a paladin just casting Eldritch Blast is kind of weird.
It was a little
He's like, hey, wait,
a little bit
how do you call
scary.
that? Yeah.
This guy you've been walking around talking about his oath for like 8 years is just like Eldritch Blast. You're just like, you look over real quick like, I got a lot of questions. The first one is about your armor class.
Ooh. It's pretty high.
How? You are a warlock, sir. And you're just like, no, man.
Like, does a 30 hit? Not this time.
Yeah, you know, that is unfortunate that you can do that.
Okay, Vulcan.
Yeah, pulling a Vulcan.
No,
All right, hey, give me an engineering
mine
electronic
can get
check.
mine maxed out at like 28. His, we were talking about it the other day, he can get his to like, what, 35?
No, I think like a 32.
Okay. Yeah, no, that is insane. That nothing's hitting.
Yeah, but you know, as a DM, you just work with that, because I've had players before that have had really, really high. Fulton, it costs $70. Stop. Because if you break it, you don't get a new one, and you're off the stream.
No.
I've had players before that have had, like, when I was doing Evil Campaign Round 1, Kelly's character had like a 22 AC at like level 1. Like, that is ridiculous.
What?
So you just fucking dex check everything. All right? Dex check. Everything's a dex check now.
How do you even get like a 21 AC at level 1?
He just did a lot of shit. And then I let them pick one magical item, and he took like a ring of protection. And
Oh
then
god.
it's just a lot of shit that piled up.
He went, I'm a level 1. I'm probably gonna fight like goblins first. I'm gonna just be a god. It's just Goblin Slayer at that point. Just a dude in full plate mail walking through a cave, just dancing on goblins.
He was like a mountain dwarf, like with forge, domain cleric. Like he was just built for AC. Like, and,
You need
know,
it sometimes.
Yeah, but again, it was fine because I just made him dex check everything.
Everyone had pots of fire. Everyone had fireball. Every trap was a dex save.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I don't, and that definitely wasn't, at least from what I've heard, your biggest problem in Evil Campaign Round 1, because I believe I hear wild shaped into bear cast Moonbeam was a thing that was argued.
That's what they should have fucking put in Tasha's. There is no reason that a fucking druid should be able to wild shape and cast magic at level fucking like 3. It doesn't make any sense. Like, what an OP. So not only do they get like bazinga temporary HP, but they also get all of these attacks that this animal has. Like a bear has a multi-attack at level 3, and they can cast spells. No.
So do druids, do they need to have spell components and like what's that called? Where you have somatic like components to their spells?
I mean, every spellcaster has those kinds of things, but
Yeah.
it's really DM's discretion on whether or not they actually like track that in their game.
Yeah.
Like I know for me, when I play a spellcaster, I like to flavor my spellcasting because that's just part of like how I like to play my character.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are just like, I cast fireball, like, or whatever, you know, random
Yeah.
spell. And their DM, like Nagy, when he DMs Chaos Crew, unless it's like a higher level spell that has like very specific spell components, he's not really tracking that shit.
Yeah.
Like,
We
Like,
just
you
most
still
people,
do it,
like if
but
I'm gonna
like
cast Witch Bolt in Cooper's game, I know that he's not gonna ask me, do you have a twig that's been struck by lightning?
I do know you went out of your way to get it though.
But because I use those as flavor,
Yeah.
he knows that I have it. But a lot of DMs for lower level spells like that, like,
Yeah, no, the way I kind of see it is, I was in a campaign once where basically my DM worked very specifically about it. He was like, I don't care if you have the components. He's like, I'm not gonna make you go find them. What you have at level 1, you will just start with that stuff in a pouch, and then for flavor, when you level up, we'll just say you go and gather whatever components you want to be available for the spell, because it's kind of dumb to limit both spell slots, and if you lose your twig, you no longer can cast Witch Bolt. Like, that takes away from the fun of it.
But I would think because one of Silence's utilities is taking away verbal components of spells. So when you wild shape, can you still talk?
No.
No?
You are a bear.
Yeah, so like if you wild shape into an animal that can't do like hand signs or
Right,
the verbal
right.
components, then you just shouldn't be able to cast the spell, period.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. but
100%. I agree.
there are definitely spells that, if you're looking at it through that logic, can absolutely still be cast in wild shape. And I just told him, no.
Yeah, you could. On technicality, there are spells that are verbal component only, and you could just turn into a crow, fly 80 feet in the air, and just cast like whatever the fuck it is from, you know, way up high, because crows can mimic human speech. So it's like, I don't know, man. The whole druid casting spells in wild shape thing is broken, and I'm honestly not even a huge fan of the wild shape feature. I never really use it when I play druids, other than like the rare, like, good utility moments it has where it's like, oh, there's nobody can fit through this hole. It's like, all right, I'll turn into a mouse, go through the other end, fucking open up and open the door, right? But like, otherwise, I mean, I never wanted to become a bear in combat. It took away from the actual build I got to do with my spells.
I mean, the only thing that I think would be cool about it, I don't like druids, so I don't fucking play them. But the only thing that I think is cool about it is like you wild shape and you get all that temporary HP. Like that's dope. Like if you're like down and out, you're like, hey, I'm almost out of spell slots. Like I'm fucking at 3 HP. Like I'm gonna turn into a fucking T-Rex. Fuck you.
And like you said, like a bear. Like I just turned into a bear.
Yeah.
And like you get like a fuck ton of temporary hit points. Don't you get some resistances as well?
Probably I'd have to.
But
pull
like
it
you
up.
get like a multi-attack that does a decent amount of damage.
Yeah.
Because you're a fucking bear.
Yeah.
So like that in and of itself is like,
Turn into a wolf.
Yeah,
If
if-
your friends are nearby, you get pack tactics.
if I
and shit.
ever
Exactly.
like play a druid,
Don't.
I have other classes that
That's
I
my
want to play
advice
first.
on that.
If I ever end up playing, because I would like to play it at least every class, like at least once.
Yeah, I mean, I've had fun with playing druids before.
But I would probably only use the wild shape for utility like that.
Most people do. I mean, I have definitely seen druids that are very heavy on the whole like wild shape feature.
Well, when we played with Brady, she was pretty heavy into the wild shape part of the druid. But like it fit. I mean, I guess it just all depends on your character, you know. She was a fucking wood elf who grew up in the woods and lived alone in a treehouse and like had a relationship with the animals in the woods around her. Like it made sense that she spent a lot of time in wild shape.
I can't think of another reason to play a druid besides the wild shape.
I mean, they get a certain certain set of accesses to spells that most people don't.
I mean, Jesus, look at rain.
Yeah, the circle spells were cool. Tree stride was pretty awesome to have at all times.
I mean, you didn't use it right, but yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna tree stride through a person.
Almost happened.
No, I mean, it's only supposed to be within 500 feet, and y'all use it to travel across the whole fucking continent.
Is it really only 500 feet?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
So, dimension door. But through a
It's
tree.
basically dimension door through a tree.
Oh,
That's it.
Very earthy. Very rustic.
You know, it's probably better than like burning ozone to like teleport. You know, it's better for the
Yeah, we're
environment.
real worried about the ozone layer in the year 1021.
But it doesn't count as a portal, right?
no.
So,
not
like-
technically.
I don't
like
think so.
things that detect portals and things that are like looking for portals or have some sort of awareness of like very large, obvious, flamboyant,
Could very
magical effects.
easily break into the Smithsonian, just like show up in the arbor section, just like pop out of a tree.
Steal some classical art pieces.
Yeah, yeah. that's a really funny multi-class. Is just a druid rogue. Just a druid who's like, yeah, I steal from cities because fuck them. Because nature.
Everything is free in nature.
I was actually raised by a pack of crows, and now I just really like to take shiny things from
I don't
people.
know, dude. That'd be very interesting because like Nagy's museum one shot. If we would have had a rogue druid, just like I like. First of all, rats can get into anything.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna transform into a rat and I'm gonna break in, and then I'm gonna like tree stride, mark a piece of ancient wood in there. I'm gonna tree stride out, and then I'm gonna grab my friends and then tree stride in, and then we're in.
Yeah,
I'm convinced that none of you have ever read the tree stride spell. That's what I'm convinced of right now.
Well, does it have to be a tree or can it be a piece of wood?
It has to be a tree, and you have to find a tree of the same type within 500 feet, and then you can teleport to it.
really.
So just keep 2 little trees with you at
Yeah,
all
just
times.
keep little
like 2
potted plants.
Little bonsai
I
trees.
think I feel like there's a specification in there.
Just carve a symbol into 2 bonsai trees.
Both
and just
trees
throw
must be
one.
living and at least the same size as you.
Damn.
Oh, man.
Put him in the back of the cart.
You're just walking around. You're just a gardener. You're just a traveling gardener.
Like, why do you have these trees? Like,
These are my emotional support trees. You can't tell me I can't have them.
This tree will turn into an invasive species and completely destroy the ecosystem of the kingdom. We have to ask you to leave them at home. Excuse me, sir. Can you not see their orange vests?
Yeah, that's the political intrigue I want in my D&D campaign. You can't take that tree in here. It'll become an invasive species. Because medieval kingdoms really cared a lot about that, you know?
All right, speaking of that, one time I was going through the border, and I was up in Vancouver, and we got absolutely shithoused, and we're driving back, obviously not still drunk. And for whatever reason, while we were drinking in downtown Eastside, I had collected all these fucking acorns. So we're going through the border, there's all these fucking signs, like you can't have this, and you have to declare this, and whatever. I'm just like, just joking, I was like, haha, and I pat my packets down, and I was like, oh, fuck. I have so many fucking acorns in my pocket. So we pull up, and the border patrol dude is like, hello, I need to see your passport. Why are you coming into the United States? Whatever. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, cool. Not stamp, but here's your passport back. Do you have anything to declare? And I just went and held up both my hands full of all these fucking acorns. And I was so afraid. I was like, I don't know why I have these, but I have all these fucking acorns. And he was like, why are you telling me this? And I said, you can't bring plants. Like, you can't bring them across the border. What if it's an invasive species? He said, throw them out the window. And I just went, okay. And I thought he meant right now. So I just went, whoop, onto his boots. And he's looking at us, and you can hear, like, the tick, 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 tick of all these fucking acorns hitting his, like, steel-toed boots. And I'm just standing there with my hands out the window, and he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and he just goes, welcome to the United States. Just drove on home.
He's probably like, he probably went home that night and was like, fucking Canadians,
This
dude.
stupid lesbian threw all these fucking acorns at me.
No, so what he should have done, he didn't do the proper protocol. What he needs to do is hand you a gun. hand you a
Yes,
gun
when you
and
enter the United States, they hand you some wintergreen long cut dip,
Yeah.
and they hand you a gun, and then they hand you a plain red ball cap. You can decide what you put on there, but
Yeah.
they hand you one, and they say,
Oh, that's where you got the
"Welcome to
never,
America."
ever again, right?
Yeah, I had to throw it away because the dog done chewed it up.
The dog chewed it up?
I think, well, he can't read, so he probably saw it and was like,
Red hat.
had a visceral reaction to it.
You taught him well. He's a good boy.
He's a boy.
He didn't touch the blue hat.
My Iwo Jima hat? He better not. I don't even know how to kill a man to get that hat.
Very, very hard to get to Japan nowadays,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate. I want to do a Japan trip.
I'm never going back there.
You didn't like Japan?
I mean, I just think that if I went back, now I'm old, and I would die. Because I would drink, and I would try to drink like I did 3 years ago when I lived in Japan, and I would fucking die. I would make it 48 hours before someone had to call my family. Like,
Like, oh my god, she's had too many chew highs.
she's fucked. She's passed out outside old man Chuhai. Come get her.
How long were you there for?
3 years.
3 years?
Best business trip ever. By business trip, I mean temporary
I
relocation.
lived and worked there
Yeah,
for
temporary
3 years.
relocation.
Oh yeah, it's just a short business trip. I'll be gone a week. You're just like, they were like, hey, wasn't Wise supposed to be back like a week and a
She's
half
like,
ago?
this is 2015. What the fuck is going on?
Where is she? She told me she was gonna go out and get some blinker fluid. We're just looking at him like, that's not a thing!
Get some elbow grease and some headlight fluid.
Comes back with a carton of milk and a pack of cigarettes 10 years later, like, this was hard to find.
Especially because like I wanted to get like a gallon,
You
but
can't
like
find good avocado milk these days, man. Bruh, the grossest thing in the world. Someone bought it for me one time because they know I'm lactose intolerant and they know Nagy can't have whey because he's weak and his bloodline hates him. So they brought over avocado milk and I was like, okay, like, you know what? I've had like almond milk and soy milk and those are the only weird milks. I think I've had cashew milk before, hemp milk, you know, whatever. Avocado milk, sure, yeah. Bruh, what the fuck is wrong with people?
Yeah, you can't find good avocado milk now these days because they've never made good avocado milk,
It
apparently.
just does not exist.
Is
The
it
limit-
green?
So the one that they brought was like chocolate.
Oh, okay.
So if you poured it out into a glass, you can tell it probably did have a green tint to it. But then it was brown from the chocolate, so it was gray. Like it was dead ass a gray liquid. And it's so like viscous. And it just tastes like, it feels like you're eating a piece of avocado toast with like chocolate syrup on top.
Probably the same guy who drinks kombucha. It's just full in the background.
That came from a place of deep
Yeah,
personal
I was
love.
Kombucha's
confused when I
gross,
first bought
man.
it. Like, I bought it and I thought it was like gonna be a nice tea or something.
I did
and
too.
it's just
First time I had
disgusting.
kombucha,
It
I
tastes
thought
like
it was gonna
apple
be
cider
tea.
vinegar. Like every
Yeah.
kombucha I've ever tried, I'm like, this is a cleanse that someone is tricking me into.
Yeah.
Some woman from Pinterest has been like, I am making a killing on my cleanses right now, and I'm selling it as fermented tea.
No, I saw a kombucha. I think it was like blueberry or something like that. And I was like, oh man, look at this! Like some sort of like like herbal blueberry tea. Like that sounds awesome. And then I got it, and I was like, this is the worst thing ever.
You know, I
Why
almost
did
got in
do
trouble
this?
at work at Not Amazon one day for drinking kombucha.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't know this as I'm like sitting at work and I have a bottle of it and I'm like sipping on it. I don't read the fucking labels on anything. I don't have the time. Okay, labels are for pussies.
Well, I can't read.
I can't read. My name's Wise. I'm 28. I can't fucking read. But someone that I worked with was like, hey, you can't drink that here. And I'm like, yeah, it's gross, but like you can't tell me I can't drink it. And they're like, no, it has an alcohol content because it's fermented. Like, and it does. Like kombucha, it's a small alcohol content, but
It's
not
there.
the shit that you could be drinking at work
Oh my god.
when you work in a place where you cannot have alcohol in your system. So they were like, yeah, you gotta throw that out. Also, you
My
can't work
supervisor
today.
drinks kombucha like all the time.
Yeah, but I don't know.
talk to her about
because
that.
we don't work in the same departments. I don't know
That's
what your
fair.
restrictions are.
That's fair.
Your supervisor may be allowed to have kombucha. However, if we have like anything more than 0.0000000% of like BAC, then like
Which one of the old guys like?
Jesus.
Which one of the old guys got really upset because they found like a Red Bull or like a Nos can up in the break room?
oh,
Do you remember that?
I do remember that. I remember who was drinking it. I don't remember who it was that got upset. But that person also used to dead ass walk from the parking lot up the stairs into the break room. Just can out, not giving a fuck. And I remember one time I was in the basement, either going to the smoking area or coming back, I don't remember. And I saw them and I was like, bruh, gender neutral bruh, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
The
and
amount
they
of
just looked at me like, what do you mean? Sip, sip, sip. Like,
one of the guys we were working with, he was on dispatch, and that's different from like the rest of our like space and like what we do. It's really like a glorified secretary basically. That's what he does. So he would be like, it's being late at night, and he's like, getting a little tired. I think I'm gonna go grab an energy drink. I'm like, fuck you. We're all passing out over on fucking actual work.
all right, guys, we're going to have a non-political, just fun, easygoing D&D game. All right, so Lich McConnell is taking over the town. That is Nagy's joke, so I won't take credit for it, but holy fuck was that funny.
Pretty good.
Bashard, speaking of D&D and our
What did I do?
groups, did you like the picture I made last night when I was working?
Yes,
I was-
very much so. That's gonna be a fucking doozy when it happens.
Yeah, it was. There is, I guess. To me, it already happened because I've played Mass Effect so many times that I'm like, I already know it's coming. Fuck.
But Rin doesn't,
No, she doesn't.
and nobody else does.
I was like, these dumb assholes just sitting around getting ready to like
See,
watch Star Wars, and then like
it's-
shit pops off. It's like,
It's super funny how like because you guys obviously have like more pressing shit, and the Reapers is still far off enough away that you guys haven't really grasped the importance that like Shepard gets in his story.
Yeah.
But like, I love how Seven like came out the gate and he's like, the Reapers are coming. We need to prepare. And you guys are like, all right, cool. He's crazy. And then like it gets confirmed. You're like, holy shit. Like it's like Vulcan and Rin are like take each other's side. Like, I think fucking Seven is like right about like this Reaper shit. And then Hackett basically confirmed it. Like, yeah, Shepard was right about the Reaper shit. And you're like,
think of it from like Rin's perspective. You know, she fought in the Battle of the Citadel, and the official story was that's a big old Geth. That's a big old Geth ship. So Rin is like, I hate the Geth. They got creepy old spider ships, and they got creepy They got a thing for bugs, and I hate them. Hackett's over here like, nah, that was a Reaper. Like, oh,
That's the
That's
other.
right.
but
That's
like
the other funny
technically-
thing though is because like sure you can be like that was a Reaper, but like the rest of us are like, well, we don't know when they're coming. Like it could be years from now.
No, but I love how like it is there because there is always some sort of like player character bleed over.
Of course.
Like that I wouldn't quantify as metagaming.
It's hard, especially like I know you guys have played a little bit of Mass Effect, and even then I'm sure sometimes you know things or you've heard Bouchard and I talk about
Yeah.
things. But it is hard as someone who has played so much Mass Effect and knows all the fucking lore, has read the comics, has played the games, has seen all the shitty movies, like it is hard sometimes to like fight it. Like when we were on Europa and we found that Cerberus base, I'm over here like, is there anything about the Lazarus Project? Did you know that Cerberus was a military organization as part of the Alliance? And Bouchard's like, why? Rin doesn't fucking know that.
Nobody
Why
knows.
would she know that?
4 people know about the Lazarus Project right now.
But Wise knows it. It's so hard for me to be like, okay, what does Rin actually know? She's already stupid as fuck with the shittiest intelligence in the party. You know?
It's gonna be the Reaper War is gonna be a big deal. Like
Damn well better.
a lot of shit's gonna fucking happen.
Season 2. I'm ready for season 3 though. Because I want to know what the fuck is happening after the
I'm
Reaper War.
so excited for season 3.
You know what's gonna happen? Is you're gonna have all this shit planned for season 3, and then the remaster is gonna drop in May, and then they're gonna start slowly leaking the new Mass Effect game after the remaster, and you're gonna be like, I have to rewrite fucking everything!
But that's but because we had that conversation when the trailer came out, immediately I was like, fuck. I should just cancel season 3.
Honestly, your saving grace is that Liara looks so fucking old that, like, it's gotta be 100, 200, 300 years in the future, you know?
Please
like,
let it
She was
be.
109 in Mass Effect 3, and she looked, like, fucking matronly in the trailer.
Also, another saving grace. We're not entirely going off the canon of the games.
Well,
like
they're-
we've got both Sheps and whatnot, so like.
Yeah, but, like, there's nothing saying that because one Shepherd exists, the other doesn't.
Especially because how I decided to do it is like, obviously they're not working together. But like, if FemShep is just off doing N7 shit all the time and is like,
Here's a question for you.
okay,
It's a serious question.
okay,
Is she a romance option?
fuck around and find out.
I will. I will fuck around.
This
and find
bitch,
out.
for the listeners' knowledge, this bitch just made a point to role play with one of our other characters in yesterday's session.
I did.
Hey man, you gotta hook up with like Mercury, and like I know he's got like the floral business all going. I want to send one of every flower known to humankind to my girlfriend because I don't know what her favorite flower is, and Valentine's Day is coming up. And now she's just like, is FemShep a romance option?
You know
Because
what?
I'll just drop Christina.
That is wise, though. Rin is trying very hard to be a good person, and I think that she did very well yesterday when presented the option to fuck a giant woman in a bathtub. However, Wise would burn this house down to fuck FemShep and or Jennifer Hale. Either. I don't give a fuck which. Jennifer Hale role-playing as her character, FemShep. I would set Phoebe Bridgers into the woods with a pack of hardtack for that opportunity.
God.
I wouldn't do that.
For more background notice, Phoebe Bridgers is Wise's actual patron. As Wise is a warlock,
We have to
Phoebe
add-
Bridgers is her
I know
patron.
we said we would talk about this last session, and I skillfully avoided it, but I'm obsessed with her. I have a problem.
We have to at her when we release this.
Let's
Please
not,
do
because the
not.
restraining order will come so quickly.
We don't gotta worry. Where does
I
Phoebe
I
Bridgers?
really enjoy her music, and I also would let her hit me with a car.
Wise, where does Phoebe Bridgers live? I know you know the answer to this question.
Los Angeles.
Exactly. So we're well outside of like however many thousand or hundred miles
stop
we need to
narrowing
be.
it down for them. Now they know we're not in Los Angeles.
Like, my what's my Wi-Fi? Anybody want to give out the name of my Wi-Fi?
I don't know.
I mean,
if
I
we
don't know if
should.
that's a good idea.
Oh, that was like the password?
What, not the password. they're gonna find my house somehow and log into my Wi-Fi and steal my cable. The fuck you think they're gonna do just knowing that the name of my Wi-Fi is Marry Me Phoebe?
All 23 of the people who've watched the first episode, half of which are going to come to the second one.
Could you go online and like look up the name of a Wi-Fi and find out where it is?
No.
No, because
No?
it's attached to the specific device. And the
Okay.
device, the router itself has its own router number.
Got you. So
If
you
it's
could
got
look
an
up the
IP.
router number,
If-
but not the name.
Let me go get my router number, and I'll give everybody my MAC and my IP address, and they can just.
I'm just making sure we're not gonna like fucking DOS ourselves.
The password is also password, all lowercase, one word, because I kept forgetting it.
Also, the first password for the Wi-Fi was indeed just please. Just
Actually,
the word
first
please.
password for the Wi-Fi was Rami Mince Bridgers. And I had to change it because my parents came to visit, and I could not look my dad in the face and say, first off, saying, yeah, the Wi-Fi is Marry Me Phoebe. My dad being like, who the fuck is that? And then me having to say with a straight face and the decorum of a 28-year-old woman, the password is Raw Mean Miss Bridgers, all lowercase, one word. And
So
then he-
official.
Yeah. What am I gonna do with that? I can't have that conversation with him. Because he either knows what raw me means and I'm uncomfortable, or he doesn't and I have to explain it. And I'm gonna be like, it's something about chicken. I don't. I do love her noodles.
It was so bad. It was bad. That's what's gonna get the restraining order. None of what you said before. But if Phoebe hears this,
Not
she's
the
gonna be
fact
like,
that
that
she
joke
post-
was awful.
Not the fact that she posted a picture of her kissing another woman yesterday on Instagram, and I was so heartbroken that I photoshopped my face into it instead of the group chat.
So you should post that picture to the Twitter.
No,
Or
thank
not.
No.
Let's not do
think I
that.
should.
No.
They told me I need to make my dreams a reality, so I fucking did. I'm
She
very-
fucking posted that shit to the group chat, and we all looked at Wise like, come on, man. This is a whole new low.
This is sad. Like, why is just off in the corner? Like, I don't care.
I'm unfazed. I've slept 2 hours and 48 hours. You can't fucking hurt me. I've transcended humanity. I'm off this fucking mortal plane at this point.
No restraining order can get served to you because you're not on the mortal plane. You know,
Go-
that's the real
I am-
OG
I
tactic.
am. I have taken the role in this friend group of the biblically accurate angel.
So if you go to another plane of existence and commit a murder,
Okay.
and then come back to this plane of existence,
Okay.
how would your plane of existence extradite you to the other plane of existence? Do they
I
put
mean-
it to a planet-wide vote?
If you have the ability to move between planes, there's got to be other people who can do it. And I feel like the government in like an X-Men style snatch up would be like, you work for me now.
You're my extraplanar assassin.
So they would have like a fucking branch of the CIA, and their whole job is to like extradite, or the FBI to extradite criminals across the planes.
And
You're
ladies
going
and
to
gentlemen, we just
mechanics,
did
fuck you.
describe the entire storyline of Control.
Great game.
This is amazing.
First of all, Control is a lot less.
it's a lot more nuanced. However,
but
it's
actually,
very
I don't think
watered down.
I think it's less
I was about to
nuanced than
say,
how
I'm
you
not
said
sure
it.
More nuanced is accurate.
Yeah, like it's less of we're extraditing extraplanar beings back, and it's like, no, you don't get to go home. You don't get to stay here. We're putting you somewhere else.
It's fair.
It's closing time, but the half the song doesn't make sense.
You just banish in real life. The whole video game is just how many times can we banish people? Only it's permanent. Fuck you. Enjoy your tiny room and your chair.
Come across a dude who's been sitting looking at a fridge for like 13 hours, and he's just like, why my relief never came? I'm gonna die.
Lieutenant sitting there just trying to boil his water so he can make that tea in 1
trying to
minute.
tea.
Trying to speed run that tea, boy.
Speed run tea.
I had a good time banishing you. Hope you know.
I don't
that.
know. It was funny because you were just like, I banish him, and then
It was
everyone.
just, I kept talking about it, and I looked at whoever was sitting next to me. I think it was Rondo, and I said, if he says one more thing that makes me think about shit, I'm gonna fucking banish him. And then you said whatever you said, and I was like, I banish him. Fuck you. I banish him. And
But, like-
Rondo, immediate counterspell.
But that's the thing.
I should have warned you.
So like, for me, the subject of the banishment, I was like, I was like, so what? I talked out like you guys were having your little argument, and I went to Naga's like, what does that necessarily mean? It's like, oh, you go to an empty room for like a minute.
They
And
go
I was
to
like,
timeout for 60 seconds.
you go to timeout for 60 seconds, and I was like, in combat, that would have sucked.
Oh yeah.
Because like I'm gone for like 10 turns. We're like, thanks.
It's brutal in combat. Outside of combat, it's just Tenenbaum being like, I need to get some distance from you, and 1 minute is the perfect amount of time.
But like everybody else in the party, was like, how could you? It's like I'm gone for a minute.
It's like we walked 2 blocks. Like he can still see us up the street. Like
Just counter spell, and then
Y'all blowing
there's
counter
Tenenbaum
spells.
Who's cast 4 spells at this point because of Bane as well.
Yeah, I
who's
did
just
try
sitting
to
there in
Bane.
the middle of the fight like, man, these spells would have been handy right now.
I actually didn't use any other than Shield of Faith.
Yeah.
Shield of Faith and Spiritual Weapon in that combat. I didn't cast a single fucking spell.
Well, you were polymorph for half of it.
I was polymorph for half of
Yeah.
it, which I needed because my health was low. But also like lending credence to the fact that everybody thinks she's a rogue. I rely heavily on my bow as
Yeah.
Tenenbaum. Like it was super dope of Nagy to let me build this cleric class around a longbow, which is not a traditional fucking cleric weapon at all.
Yeah.
But that's because, you know, the whole thing about Tenenbaum is that she, 6 months prior to the campaign starting, 2 years ago, she like woke up in a shallow grave with no memory and a longbow, and she's been just like piecing that shit together. And that's because I'm lazy and I didn't want to write a backstory, and Nagy has fucked me up ever since.
She definitely was a rogue in a past life.
Oh, she was an archer. She was an
Yeah.
archer in the army. That's what I've gotten. And she did some real fucked up shit.
And Rin's just a street rat.
Street rat.
Like
Street
killing all of the people who are part of the same race as name redacted.
I didn't kill all of them.
Most of them. Well, if you had gotten all of them, then it would have been Jack.
I killed
Jack would have
a
died too.
significant number in one part of the world, and I lost my eye for it. So we're even.
Are you? I did commit genocide, but I lost an eye, so I guess, you know, eye for an eye, right?
Eye for 1,000 eyes, right?
Oh God. You are a biblically accurate angel, so you've got plenty to spare.
And speaking of biblically accurate angels, we need to take a moment and
Oh, God, I need to
recharge our celestial batteries.
Yeah, go pray to your biblically accurate angels.
We will be back in just a moment.
And we're out.
What a comeback, baby.
Okay, we can't make the same joke twice.
I'll make it every time.
Welcome back.
I'm cutting it.
Took our little break, and we're back for the last half hour. Just keep on keeping on. What are we talking about?
We're supposed to be talking about Tasha's, which we did for about 3 minutes.
Man,
Yeah.
you know what?
We'll come back to that at some
I am
point.
not bound by your talking points.
They weren't even my talking points.
Straw manning me.
I told you all straight up, I didn't even fucking read it, so.
I don't read.
We can talk about whatever we want. Well, I mean, you don't have eyes, so like, how can you read?
You're just an amorphous black blob, right?
Oh wow, that's racist. We're
I
gonna
knew
get
it was
canceled
coming
now.
before you said it.
He's purple now. His
That's
shade
racist.
changed to purple. I'm sorry, it's green now. He keeps changing every time he says that's racist. He changes to a different amorphous blob of a color. It's actually rather terrifying. My eyes are bleeding looking at him doing it.
It's like a light show. I'm fucking loving it.
Hell yeah, just smoke some weed and watch him change colors. It's like, dude,
Dude,
I'm loving you right now.
I'm really vibing with this whole thing you're doing.
Cooper, that was a very good impression of someone who smoked weed,
Thank you.
considering you never have.
I've never done the devil's lettuce. And I
I'll
regret
talk to Cooper about it, and like, cause I had friends in fucking high school who smoked, and like we'd hang out, and they'd go into the bathroom and smoke, and then they'd come back in because they know I didn't, and like every time we talk about it, he'll be like, yeah, dude, like I'm just so high right now, and I was like, Cooper, the more and more you pretend or talk about what it's like being high, I just know that you've never been high.
As someone who has been high many, just countless numbers of times, every time he does it, I'm like,
Well, I'm aware that the reality of it is you're sleepy but not tired. You're just like a normal person, but just like a little zonked.
I mean, sure, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, but I've never done it, so it's really funny to watch Bouchard's face every time I'm like, it's fucking sick, bro. And he's just like, I hate you.
I remember one time when I was in high school, one of my really good friends and I, Zach, if you're watching this, you're not, but sup, homie. Or listening, whatever. But one time, Zach and I, we were like, all right, we're gonna go to Tijuana Flats, which I don't know if it's in the northeast coast, but it's in the southeast. You know, it's like a Mexican restaurant. So
That was quotation
I had
marks.
never done edibles before. It was my first time doing edibles. So I was like, all right, let's do this. So he had these little lavender cookies. They were super like gourmet. So we each ate a cookie, and we're driving, and we're on our way to Tijuana Flats, and it was like 20 minutes after we ate the cookie, and I was like, bro, I'm not feeling fucking anything. This is stupid. He was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's pull over and smoke a bowl. So we pulled off to like a local park, and we like toked this bowl in the car, and we went to Tijuana Flats. So halfway through my burrito was like the size of a forearm. Halfway through this burrito, all that shit fucking hit me at once, bro. And I was fucking gone. So I smashed this burrito, I smashed these cookie dough flautas, I'm like drinking salsa. Like I was just like going fucking ham. I was so hungry. So we get in my car, and at this point we're both like fucking on a different level of existence. We're driving back to my house, and he's like, bro, you're going so fast. You gotta slow down. I was like, I know. I feel like I'm going so fast.
You were going so slow.
Bro, we were
were
like
you?
15 and a 50. Like, absolutely so fast. So we finally, I feel like it took us 6 hours to drive 20 minutes. We finally get back to my house. We park the car. We're like so full and so high. We were like, let's just go and sit on a couch and like watch TV. So I had lived in, at this point in time, the garage was like a converted apartment, so I lived in there. So when you walked into the house through the front door, what we used as the front door, if you went to the right, you went to the kitchen and then the main house, and if you went to the left, it was the garage. Like, and it had French doors, so you could just see what we were doing. So we sit on the couch, we're watching TV, chilling. My mom comes home from work, like, you know, however many hours later, who fucking knows. And we all like, we came back to our bodies because my mom is like yelling at us, like, what the fuck are you idiot kids doing? And we're like, what? My mom was like, I walked into the fucking house. You both have sunglasses on. You're sitting straight up on the couch, back's not touching it, passed out watching fucking C-SPAN. What the fuck is going on?
My mom didn't know you were high?
No, I mean, I'm sure she did, but she was like, what the fuck is this? My mom always knew when I was high because I thought I was so subtle because I was a teenager and that's just how they are. I remember one time I came back from like an outing with, you know, some girls, and I came back, I was high as fuck, and I was like, my mom can't know, so I like put my hood up and tied my hoodie strings real tight. I put my sunglasses on, I was like, she'll never know. So I walked through the kitchen, because that's how you get through the house, and I had a Taco Bell quesadilla in my hand. So I walked through first, my two friends are behind me, and I fucking slammed this quesadilla down on the counter in front of my mom. She was cooking dinner with like a fucking vengeance. And I pointed at it without looking at her, and I said, this is a quesadilla. And I just walked out. My mom's looking at my friend.
Did you leave the quesadilla
Yeah,
in
I
there?
left it right there. Like, I just walked out of the fucking kitchen. And so the girl I was dating at the time and then a mutual friend, they're behind me. And my mom's like, what the fuck was that? And I can hear them like, yeah, she's just super high and she's trying to pretend she's not and she's making it fucking worse. Like, and I can hear my mom go, oh. Into my room.
Friends just immediately ratted you out. Like,
My mom
she's
fucking
high as
knew,
fuck.
You
you
can't
know?
rat somebody out when they already know.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
Cop pulls you over for doing 90 and a 35, and you're like, your friend is like, oh, officer, I don't know why you pulled me over. Your friend's like, bro, we were doing 90 and a 35. It's like, yeah, your friend didn't rat you out. Your friend just expedited the bullshit.
Yeah.
The amount of times that me and my friend would be hanging out and like we'd pass out. We just fucking like don't remember when we fell asleep. And we fell asleep and there was nothing in the grinder. Because that's why we fell asleep. Because there's nothing in the grinder. There's no point of being awake anymore. Just pass the fuck out. And then we wake up and we'd be like, ugh, fuck. We go get breakfast or like get like shower and shave and get all our shit done. And then we'd come in and then my buddy would forget that the grinder was empty and he'd get it in his hand and he'd be like, oh man, and he's unscrewing it. He's like, I forgot, we don't. And the grinder's full. Because like either a friend or like one of the people we were hanging out with, like before they left, they would smoke a bowl before they went home.
Yeah.
So like they would open it and there'd be nothing in there.
So they'd have to fill it.
They'd have to fill it. But like
It's the magical never.
they're not gonna like empty they're not gonna grind like a full fucking grinder
Yeah.
and then put it in a baggie and then take it in their car. So they just left a full grinder. We wake up in the morning, there's a full grinder. We're like, fuck yes. The gods smile upon us this day.
Jesus. The good old days.
The good old days.
I'm just over here in the corner, like, oh, I guess. Here.
You're the imposter.
You know, one of these days when I don't have a job that drug tests me constantly, I'll try it.
You know, not Amazon is very dangerous.
They drug test us so much. Beth Jesus is very adamant
The
about
thing
it.
about it though is it's so inconsistent. Like I'll get drug tested every week for like a month straight, and then I won't be drug tested for like a year.
I got drug tested the week I joined, like because they drug test you before they hire you.
Hire?
Yeah, I'm a new hire. But then there were dudes who got here who started working there after me who got drug tested like every other week. I got drug tested last March and then they haven't touched me since.
I don't think that I've been drug tested since I came back from vacation in December of 2019.
Which is weird because they make us drug test one another.
Yeah, because you gotta have a person there to be like, oh, we gotta watch your piss. Like,
But like we send it off to a lab. There's not even a person in-house who does it. So like for all we know, like if my buddy gets put on fucking like the dude who like fucking makes sure you don't cheat, I can be like, hey man, you still good to hang out this weekend? Like hell yeah, cool. He's like brings out like a little bottle of like that we have saved. Like it could be so easy to get around the system. Like they seem to be doing it just to say that they do it.
I feel like a lot of places do it just to say. I mean, I'm really hoping that we see some federal movement in the next couple of years with all this shit getting passed, because I would like to be high. Right now I would like to be high.
Can you
like,
imagine? Listen, our first
No, I can't.
our first episode got 23 views in 2 weeks. We'll probably keep that consistency for the rest of our career, like air quotes.
Yeah.
The moment we start doing this high, 2 million views, 3 million views. Like,
Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be sitting here fucking zoning out. Someone's gonna say, "Wise, what are you looking at?" And I'm gonna be like, "I was just thinking about the movie Cars."
Yes! Is this where we do it?
No.
Listen, there are very few nights that exist in my mind that like I have to pull on from like memorized experiences. That's one of them. That is
The Cars
No.
night?
That was
not.
ridiculous.
I will cut everything that is said in the next 30 minutes.
we
I
won't
have to.
get into it, but it's one of those. It's like a gas station in the middle of the night, on like a dead road. It's like it was just a surreal experience. Like you become present in that moment
I
at 3 o'clock in the
literally
morning.
felt like my sanity was unraveling. Like to the point where I also had to work that morning. So it was like 4 a.m. and I was like, I need to take a fucking nap. Like I have to be at work at 6:45. But like I was sitting there listening to this and I was like, I'm going crazy. Like what the fuck is happening in my garage right now?
And then you said fuck it at around 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I went to sleep. I woke up. I was like, I set out air mattresses. I set out sheets and blankets and made sure everybody had a place to lay down. I went to sleep. I woke up. I got dressed for work. I walked down the stairs. Nobody's in the house. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I poke my head in the garage. Y'all motherfuckers are still in there talking about cars.
For 3-4 hours we talked
were,
about
we
cars.
were painting minis. We
was
talked
like,
about cars for
get-
about 5 hours.
Go to sleep. Like, what the fuck is happening?
We're not going to get too in depth with it because Wise will literally try to murder one of us.
I will.
However, at a later point we will elaborate. But it was fucking insane. Talking about in-depth Cars lore and its pertinence to actual real history.
Can't do it.
Jesus was a wagon. That's all I have to say.
It's like whenever Seven brings up, an alien, like a 100,000-year-old alien in the year 2184 or 2186. It's like they're talking about like fucking how the Alliance wants to move forward. And he's like, oh yes, like in World War II. And it's like, that's like over 200 years ago.
Yeah.
And this alien knows World War II shit?
Well, it's because he made a point to study it.
I don't know why.
What
why
was the time you were
World
like,
War II?
oh, just like Pearl Harbor. You are going to pretend you do not know the attack is coming.
The Reapers. When
Oh,
he
it
was
was with the
talking about the
Reapers.
Reapers with like NCIS, when NCIS was like, hey, it was the Geth. Shut the fuck up about it. And he's like, oh, so you're just going to not do anything even though you know the attack is coming. Just like in World War II with Pearl Harbor. And the look on Wise's face as she just turns to look at Fulton as we all just start dying.
So I'm sure by then the documents would have been like declassified by the CIA or whatever.
They are declassified now.
So we knew that it was happening.
There was,
It's
well,
not
we
just-
didn't know for certain, but
So-
there was some evidence to suggest that there may be an
There-
attack on Pearl Harbor.
What there was a radar, like they were studying radar and there was like a truck with radar on the other end of the island. And they picked up on stuff and reported it, but everyone was like, radar's really unreliable right now, like it's probably nothing. And then it was like,
Everything.
definitely something, yeah. They didn't ignore it per se, they kind of neglected it because the warning was a little shoddy. But that's what you get when you have two fucking, what are they, privates or whatever? Like fucking
Yeah, some
low-ranking
fucking-
military boys.
yeah, some
just
fucking-
in the middle of a truck with
Especially
radar.
back then when you're just like
Yeah.
an 18-year-old boy in the 40s and you're just like,
Yeah,
I don't
you probably called back to Pearl Harbor and was like, gee, golly, gee, something on the radar there, the higher ranking guy, and he was just like, it's, I don't know, man, fucking, it's probably nothing.
Is that what you think people talked like in the 40s?
I think only the people at Pearl Harbor talked like that in the 40s.
Got it, got it,
They
got
were
it,
just
got it.
all saints, apparently.
Got it.
good golly gee, higher ranking guy.
I don't know shit about the military. The fuck?
So, because we're getting towards that time, or at least got about 10-15 minutes before I got to go to work.
What an eclectic episode.
Hey, we're just having fun. Stream should be starting in a week or two.
Two, because
yeah.
we need Nagy.
Yeah. So we'll be posting that. Are we going to post it to this same channel, Wise? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we'll be posting it there. We'll have our little session 0 that I think we'll do in private probably.
Sure, yeah.
And then we'll have session 1 and we'll release that. Because we can do session 0 and session 1 back to back.
Yeah.
So yeah, look forward to that. A dirty talk to follow that. With discussing stuff about the stream. Let's
Heck
hope
yeah.
whoever is the poor sap that listens to these gets some enjoyment out of it.
All 25 of you.
23.
Yeah,
Oh,
23.
man.
Don't round up.
We have
added
3
2.
subscribers.
Wow.
Do we have 3 subscribers?
Yep.
Man, I just love y'all. You guys are great.
I'm pretty sure.
I didn't subscribe.
I'm one of them. So
Yeah,
I
I'm one of them. You're one of them. So like,
maybe
Man, I really do love those people.
a parent or a family member.
Dakota probably, or Jessica maybe.
Oh man, it is actually all three people that I do genuinely care about.
Hey man, some of the greats, that's how they start. They just beg their friends to like and follow their shit.
Yeah, Kim Kardashian just begged her father, like, hey, like and follow my shit. Share, retweet.
Yikes.
And now she's getting divorced.
And nobody cares.
No.
Poor taste.
So I saw this funny thing on Facebook, and someone was like, Kim Kardashian and Kanye are getting divorced, and this guy goes into this long fucking, it's like a 3-paragraph post, and he's like,
About like microorganisms and shit.
he's eventually like, well, there's microorganisms at the bottom of the ocean that care about this more than I do.
Yeah, he like describes these microorganisms.
There's a fucking krill getting eaten by a fucking whale right now.
And it gives
that
more of a fuck
cares
about this.
more than I do.
I don't care that I'm about to be eaten. I care about the Kardashian-West relationship. That's what I give a shit about.
They're American royalty.
If that is America's royalty, say what you want about like the British
Throw it out
royal
by a new
family,
one. Throw it out by a new one. That's all I gotta say.
but like if they're our royalty, we are screwed. We are in the down spiral.
I don't know why you think they're not. I don't know why you even doubt for a second that families like the Kardashians and / Jenners are like American royalty. We should have just stayed a monarchy, to be honest. Like, I don't know.
But
Maybe
oh
this
no,
is-
there was a stamp, and now we're all pissed.
You know, all I'm saying is, as someone who has lived and visited many countries that were once under British dominion, that earned their independence the normal fucking way, you know, we turned out fucking fine. That's all I'm gonna say. We're fine.
Yeah.
And now we have socialism. Ooh, boogeyman.
Ooh,
America. The scariest word in America.
they're gonna take your cows.
They're gonna take my cows.
Redistribute.
So Britain isn't perfect.
Duh.
They have a bunch of stabbings. People get
So
stabbed a
do
lot
we.
over there.
We have, and I see your stabbings, and I will raise you public school shootings.
Keep this in mind. This is a statistic from last year, but I only remember this because I made a Facebook post about it because I was fucking appalled. On January 11th of 2020, and these numbers I'm pretty sure are correct, 85%. There were 21 school shootings in the United States in the first half of January last year.
Yep.
And you know the fatality statistics, and this is going to be a little bit of college coming out for me.
Bring it. I'm here for it.
The fatality statistics of a stabbing versus a school shooting, like, okay, you know what? Yeah, you're going to get stabbed. It's going to fucking suck. But you can even get, like, gut shot with a fucking serrated blade, and the chances of you living with modern medicine are super high.
As long as they don't get you like straight in the throat or temple, you're pretty good.
As long as no major arteries are cut and they don't puncture your stomach, you're probably gonna live.
And even in those cases, you can
Yeah,
live.
if they get
Yeah.
you in the thigh and they get like a major artery, or they get you in the stomach and they do puncture your stomach, chances are, depending on how long response time is, who's my firefighting shit coming out? As long as you're not there for like more than 5 minutes while the blade has already been removed, you're pretty fine.
Or if you have any single person around you who's like, I got a belt, I know how to make a tourniquet.
Yeah, I
You're
can
good.
apply pressure, raise that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
it's
good.
super easy to not die from a
But
stabbing.
I get that there's a lot of stabbings because they have conservative, conscientious gun laws in the UK. Or like Japan, where I lived for 3 years, where they you have to take classes and go see a fucking therapist.
Even then,
In
like
order
only
to
like
own a gun.
0.01% of the population even does that.
Because why would they? Because Japan is super safe.
Yeah.
I've left my wallet with all of my money and my ID and like my passport. Like, I've left that shit on the train before. And the train went bye-bye to wherever the fuck the JR line goes. And I got a call from the police in a different city like, hello, we found your things. We're sending it back with the police officer to meet you at your home station to return them to you. And then I go and I'm like, fuck, all my money's gonna be gone, my ID's gonna be gone, my passport's missing, I have to go to the embassy, it's gonna be a huge fucking deal. Nope,
Nothing was taken.
all my shit was still there.
sorry about that. Technical difficulties. What were you saying, Wise?
One time I left my backpack on the train, and same shit. Like, it went to wherever the JR line goes. It came back with a police officer. They handed it to me. And there was a Post-it note on it. It was in Japanese. I can't fucking read it. You know, you pull out Google Translate, you highlight it. And it was like from this like 99-year-old Japanese woman who was like, I found your backpack on the JR train on my way to Yokohama. I hope it gets returned to you. Have a great day. I'm like, what the fuck? You just gave my Bob's Burgers backpack back. Thank you so much.
This is
Like,
the sweetest thing ever.
yeah, but like, you can have.
Didn't you have like a little old Japanese lady like change your outlook on life on the train one
Oh
time?
my god, yeah. I used to do this thing on the weekends when I had time off. Like, I would just hop on the train and go to a random station. Like, I would just fucking pay the $3 because it's super affordable, and I would just go to a random place. And one time I did that, and I ended up in a place where, if you're in a place that's like near a major city or whatever, a lot of people speak English. A lot of the maps and everything are also in English, so it's super easy to get back. However, if you go to a random rural city because you want to see some random tiny temple, a lot of that shit's not in fucking English. So I got lost. I'm standing at the train station trying to get back home, and I'm staring at this huge map of all the train lines. It's all color-coded and it's super comprehensive, except for it's all in Japanese. I can't fucking read this. So I'm staring at it, and I just probably looked so downtrodden. And the tiniest little, most compact, cutest, ancient Japanese woman walked up to me, and she looks at me, and she looks at the map, and she looks at me, and she points to the map, and she just goes, "Where?" And so I told her the train station I was trying to get back to, and she grabbed me by my hand, and she led me over to the train ticket little like kiosk, and she bought my train ticket, walked me to my platform, waited with me at my platform, walked me onto the train, found me a seat, sat me down, and then just went, pat me on the head, and she just walked away.
That's
She just left.
adorable.
Like,
you
She wouldn't take any money. Like,
You met a god.
You met Inari.
Like,
Inari
I was
just gave you a train
I was like,
ticket.
are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, if I was in New York.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've had a similar transformative experience on the New York City subway. I grew up in New York City, and I lived there for a very long time. My transformative experience was the first time I watched a fucking mariachi band get into my car
Nice.
and start playing the same song for the whole 2 hours I had to be on there. And somebody came up and was like, "Hey, could you change the song?" And they go, "No." And he was like, "What do I have to do to get the song changed?" And he was like, "Pay me." And this guy just sat down. He made eye contact with me. I saw the defeat in his eyes, and like I think he saw the pain in mine, and I was just like, I just threw my hands up. I was like, all right, cool. New York City subway, very different than Japan.
Have you seen those videos of the dude in the rat suit
Yes.
doing
My
performance
hero.
art on the subway?
My hero.
I just watched one the other day where he's like pulling a giant slice of pizza like up a flight of stairs, and you can see like the true New Yorker dude. He just hops the railing. He's like, I'm gonna miss my fucking train. I don't have time for this performance art shit.
Yeah.
Pizza rat.
Yeah.
Fucking what was it? You leave your backpack on the subway in New York City, they'll arrest you.
Are you kidding me?
They'll arrest
If you look away from your backpack,
Yeah.
if it is on your back, you will
It is-
miss something when you get
It
off
is
the train.
gone, or somebody reported you and you're getting arrested. I forgot my briefcase on the fucking train on the subway once, and I got a call. I got called into a police station. They handcuffed me and then brought out the briefcase and were like, "What's in here?" And I was like, "Documents for work." And they were like, what's the lock code? And I like gave it to them, and they opened it and they looked at it, and they were reading shit. They were like making sure, because like one of the pieces of paper could have been a bomb, you know?
I mean,
Like
you
that
didn't
shit was
forget,
crazy.
right?
Huh?
You didn't forget, like something bad happened.
No, I am aware of 9/11, Fulton.
Oh god.
I did indeed grow up in New York City. I am well aware of
And then there
9/11.
was the Boston bombing, which probably happened a little.
And Jeter retired. You know, you gotta make sure you cover all the biggest New York tragedies. No, I'm aware of that. It's just like they will actually detain you, and they'll like put you aside, and they'll be like, "The fuck is in here?" And you're just like, "Dude, I forgot something." Like,
I was
I
really
don't even know
hoping-
what's in there anymore because it's been on the subway without my supervision for like an
I was
hour.
really hoping that you said like that it was going to be one of those stories where you're like, and it just so happens that I forgot something really embarrassing in there.
No.
Open up your briefcase. There's like a fucking huge ass dildo in there. Like, I need it for work.
Sir, are you aware that prostitution is illegal?
I didn't say it. Mhm.
Just like,
I call it work because I really enjoy doing it, but honestly,
it's
Is
a
it
hobby.
is it even work though? Because if you truly enjoy something, you'll
It's
never
not.
work.
never
a day
work
in
a
your life.
day in your goddamn life.
It's like, no, officer, I truly do enjoy being paid for sexual favors. It's not work.
It's all pleasure. We record it and we post it on the internet, so it's not illegal.
We're verified on Pornhub, so
Are we? We better be.
We have
you're
an
gonna make us a
OnlyFans.
Pornhub account and upload all of our podcasts, but to Pornhub.
So you know what? I think we got to get on that. So we're gonna leave it there. We have to go right now, and we will set up Pornhub. Look for our verified account on all
What a
X-Hamster too.
weird note to leave off on, dude.
That's the type of podcast this is.
I would like to, if we're going to leave it off on the Pornhub note, I would like to say, rest in power to the best Pornhub channel that ever existed,
Amen.
Dick's Pics.
Amen.
Oh yeah, I heard
really,
about that.
really am upset that when they verified everybody, they took down his porn review channel.
Amen.
I really enjoyed it.
It's upsetting. It's got to be out there somewhere on the dark reaches of the
I'm gonna
internet.
look for it.
If any of you are a lingering Reddit user, please, for the love of God, find me the saved files of those videos.
If any of you are the actual man from Dick's Pics, I want you to know how much joy you brought into my life. All right, we can stop there. That was a good.
All right,
stopping
guys. So
point. Oh my God, draw us. That was it. That's my point.
We'll see you guys in a few weeks. Hopefully after you witness our first stream for the campaign.
Sorry, a lot of it wasn't in any way, shape, or form D&D
I know this
related.
episode's gonna be called "Why Tasha's," and they're gonna be like, "We don't know because no one talked about it." Last comments from everybody, Bouchard.
No, just can't wait to get the stream started. Hopefully, I don't embarrass myself too much.
Oh my God, Fulton.
Well, fuck you guys. I ain't gonna beg. Follow us, like everything that we have.
Smash the like button.
Yeah, destroy it.
Okay.
Finger bang
Cooper.
one.
Don't forget to hit. Don't
Stop
forget to
it.
hit that bell.
Thanks for being here. Please subscribe, throw a like our way, share if you would. We're very excited to see you guys in the next few episodes. Drink a lot of water and wines. Parting note.
Penis.
Hell yeah.
Okay, bye.